Alright, my mic should be on. Okay, so I want to talk about this sooner rather than later, so I'm just going to do it now. I don't want to go on main. Somebody's going to be like, I recognize that tree, coming for you. Okay, so which you wouldn't recognize that tree because that's a tree that I planted in a chunk that was previously unloaded. So, while we're at it, I'm going to talk about the SS faction, the Skyborn Sailors, not the Skyborn Sailors, the, are we called the Skyborn Sailors? I don't even know what SS stands for. I'm bad. Sky Sailors, okay, I was close enough. Okay, and I want to talk about that faction and how we abused the shop and almost broke the entire Cubicon. I think it's a pretty cool story, so I wanted to talk about it on a recording, get it onto video. So, hold up. So, for those of you who don't know, this is the queue of an Anarchy server called Purity Vanilla. And in this queue, it works so that way you can't break anything. Here, so like this, you can't break anything, and you can't build anything either. If I can grab a block. Okay, I'm just gonna turn off chat really quick. Okay, options, chat settings, chat, hidden. Perfect. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, you cannot build. And you can't break anything either. So that's where we're at. At first, Q was literally just this area, like there's nothing else but this. And it was just a waiting lobby. And then the admins added an area down here where there were some parkours. And when this started, all that existed was this red parkour and this blue parkour. That was it. And at some point after that, they added 2 more parkours, which are both located right over here. This is hallway, and this is slime. So this island right here is called Monkey Island. And another thing, just for context, if you fall off, you don't die. You get put right back here. Back in the old days, if you fell off, you did die. And so this is Monkey Island. And this Monkey Island is much bigger than what it used to be. It used to be much, much smaller. But in an effort to make you a little bit more entertaining, one of the admins named Boone decided to drop a fishing rod. And to my knowledge, a player named Golden Cookie picked up the first fishing rod, was able to fish up a mending rod with that fishing rod, and started a Q fishing economy almost, because there's a giant list of things you can get with fishing, which if I go back and edit this video, I'll show that now. If I don't edit it, then too bad. But we would use those items to trade. We'd be like, alright, so I'll trade you 5 string for a stack of salmon, something along those lines. And eventually Boone got the idea to have a currency, and that currency was iron and gold in the form of nuggets. So it worked, in the original time, it was, you would get 1 nugget for every stack of fish. Doesn't matter if it's cod, doesn't matter if it's salmon or pufferfish. You would get 1 nugget, 1 iron nugget for each stack of fish, and tropical fish, each stack was worth 10 nuggets. And you couldn't even sell other items at that time. Actually, this crossbow was from back then. It's the very first crossbow, because back when Boom was still doing trading by hand, I was able to get enough iron nuggets to craft it. But basically Boone got the idea of, hey, instead of doing all these trades constantly and wearing myself out constantly, why don't I just make a shop? And so he went and made... I'll head over to the shop right now. But basically there is, out of the original fishers, there was someone named Energy Core, and he was the one who actually gave me my first mending rod. See, I was, as far as I know, the second person to get a fishing rod, but unlike Cookie, my fishing rod broke before I was able to fish up another rod. And so Energy Core actually gave me my first mending rod, but Boone built this. This is the shop, right? So I don't think I have anything to show how it works right now. No, I don't have anything I can sell. But for example, this is an iron nugget. I can go here, I can press sell, and it'll add $1 to my account. You can't see it right now because the chat's hidden, but it would tell me, like in the corner, that I sold and bought something. And so you sell this, you get money. So right now I have $1 in my account, and I can go over here and buy these items, which change out every week. So for example, if I wanted to buy a fishing rod, I would need, I already put 1 nugget in, so I'd put another nugget in. Then I would come over here, and actually instead of buying a fishing rod, I'm going to buy snow, because I feel like it'll just be more useful. So, and then I can buy the snow, right? So that's how this works. So here is where you can sell things. These discs don't have anything to do with fishing, but these items here do. These are all items that you can fish up and sell. There used to be bowls here and bamboo there. Neither of those are here anymore, and I'll be explaining why. That's what this video is about. But basically, that's how the shop works. And so back in the time, there was only 4 parkour and this shop, and that was about it. And there was a place that we all wanted to get to. That place was called Skyborn, and for those who don't know, Skyborn is an area that you can only... Remember how I said you can't interact with anything, you can't break anything or place anything? Well, if you were rich enough, you were able to get permission to interact with certain blocks, such as this door. I can open this door. And this button. And then you can access an area called Skyborn, and it's called Skyborn because it leads up to above everyone else, so you can look down at everyone else in queue. And back then, this was like the dream place to get to. And so everybody aimed to get here. Whoa, this is new. They literally added this today. But while we were in Skyborn, we started to get some ideas, because from Monkey Island you could see another island in the distance that belonged to Golden Cookie. He was one of the original people on this server in general, so it made sense that he would have his own island. But that's his island right there in the corner. So this is Cookie's Island, and the dream was to somehow find a way to reach Cookie's Island, which we can do now easily, because they added elytras, as you can see. But back then they didn't sell elytras at any point, so we were stuck trying to figure out how to get there by hand. And the reason why, here, I'll go over to Cookie's Island, is because back then we knew that Cookie would get teleported there by Boone. And barrier blocks. Sorry, we knew Cookie got teleported there by Boone, so we assumed that every single block up there was not perm-locked, meaning that anybody could use them. We were wrong about that. Actually, it's set so that way only Cookie has special perms. I messed up. I should have landed on top of the boat. I don't actually think I can get to it like this. I can try, I guess. Nah, I'm not gonna make it. Yeah, okay, but you can get to that island, and the reason why we all wanted to get there was because of the trees on there. We figured if we could mine the trees, then we could get wood, which is something that you can't get from fishing. And we thought if we could get wood, we could make cool items and sell them for a lot. So in an effort to get to Cookie's Island, it was originally a group of 2 people, not including myself actually. It was Energy Core was one and 2J was another one. And the 2 of them figured out the first of 2 glitches in the game. Now I can't actually show you the glitch now because it would get me kicked off of the server, but it basically involved taking a block, spamming it over and over again, and if you did it enough, then eventually you might like get some kind of like lag spike, I guess, or just plain luck, and the block would stay there, right? And only you could see it. And if you interacted with it again, it went away. And if you stayed on it for more than 1 or 2 seconds, you get kicked flying. And the main use of this was because if you have stationary blocks that only you can see, you can make it to a lot more places. Like, let's say that there was a platform like right there that was 6 blocks away from where I am. Obviously I can't make the 5 block distance between here and there, but if I was able to spam a block here and get it to stay, then I can make the 4 block jump to get over there. So you can access a lot more areas that way, and we would actually use it to cheese a lot of these parkours and jump in the hard spots, like jump between the hard spots. But we thought that maybe block glitching, or they thought that block glitching could be used to get to different areas, and they were right. So the first area that they went to was a place called Old Q, and like it sounds, it was the Old Q before this one was here. And the reason why they wanted to get there was because we weren't sure if Old Q had, or they weren't sure if Old Q had perms on it yet or not. And so they wanted to go and see if they could like collect the stone or the dirt or anything, and they were right. They actually could mine the stone, and they built AFK fishes over there, meaning that they were rich. This is Old Q. Since then, there's now a parkour that was added, but before we had to figure out how to get from Skyborn up there all the way to down there without an elytra, and they were able to block glitch all the way over to it. There was a snow bridge at one point, but the snow bridge didn't actually reach all the way, so it's not like that made it any easier or harder to get there. So now they figured out that they could go places, and this is where my part comes in, because at one point I saw Energy Core running around here, and I asked him how he got there, and eventually after a while of nagging, I convinced him to show me what he was doing, and so now I knew how to block glitch also. While this was happening, there was another person. His name was Dark Victor, and he was also finding ways to get to places that you shouldn't be able to get to. For example, he was able to get to the very, very top of this roof, which isn't possible from normal Q means, and he had the Q convinced that he had just found this cool path to get there that nobody else knew about. But in reality, he found another glitch, and this one's actually a lot simpler than ours. I can't show it to you, otherwise I'll get kicked. A lot's changed, but you go offline. Obviously, if I go offline, my recording will end. So you turn your Wi-Fi off, you go offline. When you go offline, you can place blocks. It makes sense because you're not connected anymore. And because you're not connected, there's no command blocking you from placing anything. So you can place blocks, use them, get somewhere you couldn't. Like I could go offline, block out, and jump to that right there if I wanted to. And then as long as you reconnected fast enough, you wouldn't actually be disconnected long enough to get kicked off the server. So you disconnect from the Wi-Fi, do a lot of quick work in 10 or 20 seconds, and reconnect. And by doing so, he was able to tower up or make a path up to the roof, reconnect, and all of his blocks would disappear, and he would just be up there. And at the time, he was also looking to try and get to Cookie's Island with his strategy. We decided to work together. I contacted Dark Victor and told him, "Hey, I saw that you block glitched up to that roof," and he was like, "What?" And that's when I found out that we had been using different methods. So we talked it out. I figured out his method, he figured out mine, and I decided, all right, let's make a group, and we'll use this group to include all the people who know about glitching to try and find a way to get to Cookies Island, which was like the ultimate goal back then, was to just invade Cookies Island, because back then we still didn't know that there were no perms, that there were perms there. So, so we band together in a group of 5. Me, Energy Core, and 2J, obviously, Dark Victor, and then another guy named Flubber Nuggets, and he was there because he figured out on the snow bridge that there was this one row of blocks that Boone had forgot to remove the perms to, and so he kind of knew what was going on too. He knew that there were areas where there were perms and areas where there weren't, so he joined us in our crew to try and get to Cookies Island. So after a lot of digging around, and I don't remember if it was Victor or Flubber, but one of them actually used an outside client to download the Q world and experiment around with it. And we found that the reason why there were perms inside of everywhere, or why there weren't perms everywhere, was because Boone had put up a world guard, and anything inside of the world guard we couldn't interact or place blocks. That was how it worked. And then he could set certain players to have permissions to certain blocks, which is why I can open that door that I opened earlier, for example. And so when we were experimenting around, we were trying to figure out, okay, well, if we can just get outside of this world guard, we could theoretically bridge with blocks. You could bridge all the way around and get to Cookies Island the long way. And so we went with that for a while, but that's when we figured out the way to Cookies Island, which was... Oh hey, wait, no, never mind. That looked like Boom's skin for a second, I thought Boom was on. But we figured out that there was a really, really lucky area, and that was on one of the parkours that had just been built. This one here. Orange parkour. Let's see if I can just fly over. Oh wait, I don't have my Elytron. Whoops. Okay, well I'll just talk about it. Anyway, so that orange parkour actually had an area where the world guard was only 2 blocks out from the edge of the island, which was really, really handy for us, because it meant that we could use Dark's offline method to go from here, go offline, bridge out, and then connect with the non-world guarded area that would be right there. And then from there we could bridge all the way out, go circle around and get to Cookies Island, right? So we actually did. We went to Cookies Island and we realized, oh wait, this island is inside of the world guard. We can't touch anything here, only Cookie can. And that's when, I think it was Victor, got the idea that we bridge out in this direction, outside of render distance, and make our own base. And if I go back and edit this video, I'll make sure that I plug in a picture of the old base. This is Q, by the way. So, a few of us discovered the world border, figured out how to get past it using glitches. So here we have a ship, obviously packed with loot, and there we have all of our trees to farm. And I'm only making this so that way once we get discovered, people find out and don't know. Alright, that's about it. Because I unfortunately can't show you any of it right now. Because Boone actually added a world border at one point, and our base is outside of that world border, so I can't access it. But I can show you some remnants of what was there. So, we found out that that chests rendered in worse than, or like different than normal blocks did, and so we could actually place chests closer than other blocks. So what we did was, if I can find it, since chests don't render in well, here they are. So as you can see, the chests disappear much faster. So here we have some of the original signs. There's nothing around here, go back. But basically, we created this chest bridge, and it went all the way out to our island. And this island this is not our island. This is a temporary island that we made after Boone added the world border. Our actual, as you can see, the chest bridge continues to go on. This boat is here in an attempt to try and boat across the world border, since that was actually something you could do back then. But we unfortunately couldn't find a way to get rid of the damage for being outside to get to our island. But our island is, let's see, maybe about 300 more blocks in that direction. And then once Boone added this world border, we made this smaller island, so we could still have access. And the reason why we wanted to do this so badly was because we wanted these trees, right? We wanted the trees and we wanted bamboo. Remember when I said that the shop sold bowls and bamboo? We figured if we could make bowl farms, if we could craft the wood into bowls, and we could craft, we could farm the bamboo and sell the bamboo, and we could make a lot of money. And eventually Boone did find our island, shortly after he added this world border, actually. And we thought that was going to be the end, but he actually thought what we did was pretty cool. Like, all the villages that we did were pretty cool. And so he gave us our own island, like, as kind of like a wow, that's cool bonus. And you guys saw that island earlier, but it's but our island is here. It's this one. And this tree farm up here models like similar to what we had earlier. So you go up here, and here we have the tree farm, right? We're actually in the process of deconstructing it because our exploit just got removed today. In fact, the bull trade was removed today. But we had, this used to be 5 or 6 stories tall, I think. Now it should only be 4, and we're gonna move it down to 2. But yeah, you get the idea. This tree farm is absolutely massive, and it even got to the point where we could clear out the tree farm once, craft it into bowls, and resell them for about $230 with each trip. So it took us about half an hour to make 230 Q dollars. And to put that into perspective, 230 Q dollars is the equivalent of fishing 230 stacks of cod. Each stack is 64, obviously. So you'd have to sit here at a pond, and we did the math. It was you can make $7 an hour by fishing. So in order to make $230, you would have to sit here for 10, 20, over 35 hours. In what we could do in a half an hour. So we made like huge money. Like, we're talking, we were all holding like gold blocks and had golden armor. I don't think I ever mentioned this earlier, but gold nuggets are worth 10, meaning they're 10 times more valuable than iron. A couple of people started catching wind of this, including someone named Emerald Jaguar, who you can see in this tab list. He's the 3rd one. And he was very against the bowls because obviously, if we're over here making huge amounts of money, then we're going to inflate the Q economy. And Boone actually had already gotten rid of the bamboo trade a long time ago because he realized you could farm it. But the bulls just they slipped by him. He never noticed. And I'm not sure right now whether Boone figured it out on his own, but I'm going to guess that somebody told him. Maybe it was Emerald Jaguar, I'm not sure. But regardless, he removed the bull trade. But it had gotten to the point where some of the members of our crew actually had upwards of thousands of dollars. One of Dark had a lot of money. Another person who joined us, I don't exactly know how to pronounce it. Maybe Tahib. It's T-H-I-B. Tahib question mark. He made a lot of money. He joined us later because he found the other island that we were making when it was a secret, and so we were like, "Hey, you found it. Want to join?" But we would go here. We would sell all the bulls, make the money, and then we would use the money that we got from that to get this armor. And we were gonna hide the armor and then like use it as a flex once the bull trade was discovered and gotten rid of. But we actually ended up taking it a step too far. So there's a demand for mending books, obviously, because one of the things you can fish up with books is treasure, and in the treasure drops you can get enchanted books, and if you can get enchanted books, there's a chance you'll get mending, and you need mending because everything here has durability, and you have to mend it, especially elytras. Those are very important to mend. So mending books were very popular. They would sell for a lot of money, and because we had the most money, we were able to single-handedly buy every single mending book in the entire Q server. We used our money our exploited illegal money to buy off mending books and use them ourselves, which was a step too far, and it resulted in somebody telling Boone about the bull trade and then the bull trade getting removed. And if we had all this money, we could have done some cheeky stuff. Like we could have made more effort into selling our items. We could have we could have inflated the entire economy. We could have said, all right, you know what? How about dried kelp blocks will be really valuable. We'll start buying them for $20 each, and then everybody would think $20 is the new standard for dried kelp blocks, even though dried kelp blocks sold in the shop for $5. And so we really could have inflated the economy if we wanted to. We didn't. All that we did was buy the mending books, but we could have very easily destroyed the entirety of the Q economy system. And I mean, that's about all I have that caught us up. After Boone removed the bull trade, he went to us and we gave him a lot of the gold that we had, gold blocks, gold armor, and and we're still very rich, just not as rich as before. And now there's no bull trade, and because we never really ruined the economy the way that we could have, the economy is still in shape today. But it wasn't always like that. Like it could have taken a completely different turn. It got to the point where mending books used to be worth $5, and we had people trying to buy them for $35, $50. So just one item, we actually almost broke the entire Q system. So that's all I got. I probably missed a bunch of details, but that's the general overview of how it happened, how we almost used bulls to destroy the entire Purity Q trading economy. Alright, cool. That's all I have to say.